it's Linda here from CKD Culinary Consulting and How to Eat for CKD. Now, I am here in my mom's amazing kitchen because it's way bigger than ours. And if you've seen the other videos, you'll know that's true. Anyway, I am going to do a recipe for you today that is one of our top favorites. And as proof that it's one of our top favorites, if you're in the group, you can head on over to the Files tab and it's right in there. So we're going to demo this one for you today. Okay, so we went ahead and we got everything all ready, set out. We know we've got everything we need, right? And I also went ahead and put everything into our blender to make our homemade CKD friendly enchilada sauce. So we are going to go ahead, and I'm not going to tell you everything that's in here because it's a list. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a lot of seasonings, okay? It's a list, but when you grab that recipe, which we're going to actually put into the comments as well, you will see everything that is in there, okay? So we are going to go ahead and we're going to give this a whirl, and I'm going to have you cover your ears. Ready? Oh, it's going to be so loud. Okay, that wasn't too bad, right? Not too bad. Okay, so we have the enchilada sauce all perfectly ready in there, and we are just going to leave that set until we are ready to do all the other fun stuff when we need to use it. So the next part, we are going to head on over here to the stove, and we are going to start cooking on up some of this stuff. All right? Okay, we are over here at the stove, and I didn't figure you guys wanted to watch the oil heating up, right? So the oil has been preheating, and we are going to go ahead and start tossing this stuff in. Okay, so first things first, we're going to cook our onions. And again, you guys, I'm not going to sit here and tell you use 1 cup of onion. No, you guys are going to look on the recipe. Okay, so we're just going to do this, otherwise it's going to be like an hour-long cooking video, and that's not fun. As much as you might like watching cooking shows, no. So, okay, so we got our onions. We've got them on here. I am working with about a medium heat, and I tossed them in a smidge too early, but that's okay. They're going to heat up. So we're going to get those heating up and cooking. So I want to let you guys know that for this recipe, we are actually doubling it, doing a double batch, because this way we can let my mom have some, and then we're going to bring some home. So that's why it's going to be a little bit different. So when we put it together, it's going to look a little bit different. But if you go ahead and just follow the recipe, you're going to be absolutely fine. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and cook these onions for 3 to 4 minutes. And it's going to largely depend on the size of your cut of onion. If they're very small, they'll probably cook a lot quicker. If they're bigger, they're going to take a little longer. You be the judge. But a good way to tell is when you take your spoon or whatever you're using, and when you push down on the onion with not too much force, just a little bit, just push down, and it should just go right through the onion. Just punk. And I will show you that just as soon as the onions hit that point. So we'll be right back in a second. Okay, these have been cooking for about 4 minutes because our cuts were a little bit larger. You can see, they're getting all kinds of translucent. I love using red onions, because they end up adding a little bit of color to a dish. So it really makes it look nice. And you can interchange the reds, the whites, and the yellows, and that's just fine. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to find one. So here we go. we're going to just push if it'll hold still, and see how it just went right through. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure I had to put on it, and it goes right through. So then we know they're done. And then here we go. We are going to add in our garlic. Okay, and we are adding in our jalapenos, baby. And jalapenos, these guys have had all their seeds and the veins removed, because that is going to cut down that heat. First off, we found real sweet potatoes. Okay, the stuff that we usually are getting in the grocery store is actually yams, not sweet potatoes. And you'll know it's a sweet potato because they're longer and thinner, where yams are much rounder and they're more orange colored. These are sweet potatoes. Anyways, again, we're doubling this recipe. That's why there's so many. So in this recipe, it would be 16 ounces of sweet potatoes, but we are doubling that. And that's why we're using this really big pan. So now what we're going to do, there we go. We are going to add our water. And it's not a whole lot that we're adding. Okay, so I think it's a 1/4 cup. So here we're doing 1/2 cup. And, oh, let me grab the top. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover this, and we are going to let this cook until the sweet potatoes are tender crisp. And what that means is when we use a fork and we go to poke into them, there is still a little bit of resistance that's there. And I'll show you that when it comes up. So we're going to go ahead, and if at any point we need to add a little bit more water, we absolutely can, so don't be afraid to do so. But we don't want watering like covering these poor guys or anything. Okay, this is kind of a steaming process. We've added a little bit of water to the bottom, and now we're creating that steam to cook the potatoes. So this is going to take just a little bit of time, and so we're going to come back when they're ready, and I'll show you that tender crisp. Okay, ta-da! All steamed and ready. So just coming in here, and you just do a push into it, and there's just that slight resistance, right? Just push slight and it goes through. So we are set with all of this wonderful tasty stuff. So what we're going to do next, no salt, canned black beans. And they're not playing nice. Okay, so in your recipe for one, it's just 1 can. Remember, we're doubling this, so it's 2. Okay, these were drained, okay? They were pre-drained. We did not rinse these, but make sure to drain them. And so now we're just gonna mix this stuff up. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and put together the casserole part, right? Okay, so we've got our 9 by 13. And again, remember guys, we're doubling this, otherwise it would be like a 8 by 8, 9 by 9 size right in there. Okay, what we're gonna do is go ahead and start by taking some of this amazing enchilada sauce that we made that, you guys, I wish you could smell it. It smells a little bit like, I think, what heaven might smell like. So we're gonna take about 1/3 of it, a little less. Okay, so now when you put this in there, if it's not covering the bottom, go ahead and add a little bit of water and swirl that in with it so that it covers the bottom. Okay. See, you guys can totally do like a double batch of this if you're going to have company, or, you know, if you're going to, you know, I don't know, a birthday, a barbecue, whatever it might be. So then you have something you're bringing with that you know you can eat. All right, we're going to shake it, 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 shake it. Okay, that's pretty well covered, right? Good. All right, now this is going to be a little bit different because with this recipe, you usually would use 6 of these corn tortillas. Okay, but we are tweaking it a little bit because we're doubling this and this only fits so much. Okay, so just bear with me. So we're going to layer the tortilla. And now these soft corn tortillas, double check the package. Usually they're low in sodium, so they're great to use. However, there are usually, let's see, well, it could be potassium. More often than not, I'll find the phosphate additives, okay? So we just want to put this in here. We're going to do 3 there, and then we're going to tear one up because we're going to cover up those little corner parts right in here that are kind of wide open. We're just going to cover that up, okay? Now, even though those tortillas probably have the phosphorus additives, they're usually toward the end of the ingredient list, so it's all right to use. But find the best one, okay? Okay, now you're going to come over here and you are going to take this mixture and you're going to sprinkle it. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle it. And you're going to use about half of this mixture, okay? And, you know, the stuff that falls on the counter like this, you can decide if you want to throw and put on there. Leave it. Drop it on the floor. See if the dog wants it. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. Okay. We're going to get all of that all over. Ugh. You can absolutely make this with yams, guys, if that's what you're getting in your grocery store. So these would be more, you know, orange colored if you did. Also, the yams are a little bit higher in nutrition. So you might want to keep that part in mind. It won't be too horrible, so don't worry. But, you know, we always have it in our minds, don't we? Okay, so now, see, look at how beautiful that is. That is, oh, hang on, I'm doing about half the pan. Okay, that looks good, right? Okay, I've already divided up my cheese, right? So we are now putting in 1 ounce, and I'm using finely shredded sharp cheddar. You guys, if you can, you know, if you gotta limit the amount of cheese that you can have, make sure you can taste it. So we have that there. Okay, and then we are going to do another layer. So we are going to do another portion of the sauce. Just do kind of a drizzle like. Drizzle, drizzle. That was a plop, not a drizzle. So just kind of smooth all of that out, right? There we go. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to do the tortillas again. And rip one. And rip another. Perfect. Now we're going to take the rest of that filling and put it on the top. So then we are going to put another layer of that cheese. This is another ounce of the finely shredded cheese, right? Get a little taste all over the place. You know what? Some of these that I'm dropping on the sides, you know, you can't waste good cheese, right? Can't do that. Just do the little sprinkle. Okay. We're going to take this remaining sauce and we're going to put it over the top. We're plopping again instead of drizzling, but that's okay. We just want a light cover of that. This is going to look a little bit different when you do the single recipe instead of doubling it. So we're just layering in some flavors on top, right? We want some of that sauce on the top too. Okay, there's that. Take our last half ounce of cheese. Do, 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 do. Just like that. Okay, so here's the deal. We are going to cover this in aluminum foil, and we are going to pop it into a 425-degree oven. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to bake that for 20 minutes. Then we're going to remove the foil, pop it back in, and just brown the cheese up a little bit. And then we'll show you what that looks like when it's all done and ready. So we'll be back shortly. Okay, it's out of the oven. Look. Looks different a little bit, right? Right? Okay, guess what? I got my cheese card pulled. Yeah, of everything that I doubled in this recipe, the one thing I forgot to double was the cheese. Who does that, right? I lost my dairy card. It's gone. Yep, hopefully I'll get it back tomorrow. But anyways, so we pulled it out, we took the foil off, put it back in and broiled it 3 to 5-ish minutes. Got the nice browning on here, so we threw more cheese on there to make up for the oops, right? So more cheesy, that's why it looks different. But it's on there now. So we'll go ahead and cut this up, and what we're going to do is this cilantro here. We've got our cilantro that we are going to be sprinkling on each portion, right? We have our fresh green onions that we're going to sprinkle right on top. And then each portion is going to get a little bit of sour cream. If you like that, you add your sour cream on there too. And then dig in and enjoy. So go ahead and grab that recipe, get the ingredients, and make it and tell me if you like it. All right? See you in the next one.